what are the key strategic interests that drives Jordan's engagement with Syria's interim leadership, and how might this visit reshape regional dynamics?
Good evening to you and your viewers. And I think that this visit comes in a very delicate time, particularly as the variables in the region in the north hidden to Turkey and in the southern Syria by the Israeli occupation forces occupying some areas in the southern of Syria. In addition, that several fights between Jordan and Syria that were suspended since the previous regime, specifically the security and political dossiers and the concerning the security files that would include the drug trafficking and terrorism. Last month there was a great storm of drug trafficking through which that 150 networks that include to 120 to 150 individuals. So some of them were in the industry and transportations, and the others carrying guns. And that was since 2020 till 2024, around 1,200 traffics. Following the Al-Assad regime's fall, there was some sort of an increase, but it returned slightly, particularly at the beginning of this year. But the border guards have managed to eliminate these terrorist and groups as well as the drug trafficking groups. So this is a very important issue that was addressed by the Deputy Prime Minister of Jordan to Syria in December of past year, and the visit of Shibani in Jordan that were discussed to form security committees specifically in the border security, along in addition to the issue of the drug trafficking, terrorism, and the water dispute between Syria and Jordan, in addition to the economic ties between Jordan to Syria and vice versa, through the Jordan borders into Syria, in addition to the Syrian trucks that come into different Gulf countries. These files, along with the increase of the Israeli attacks against military spots, particularly the Syrian army, as what happened yesterday in the southern of Syria, that would push the collaboration and coordination between the Arabs.
Yes. Sir, yes, sir. If you could tell us a bit about the role that Amman could play in facilitating Syria's political transition. You talked about the close relations and a shared border. Tell us a bit about the role that Amman could play in facilitating Syria's political transition, in addition to support when it comes to the reconstruction efforts.
Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister of Jordan, Mr. Al-Safadi, through his visit in Syria in the past year, the issue of us supporting Jordan in the controlling in the Syrian regime through the reconstruction and the assistance and facilitating the services, as Jordan contributed in the reforms of the electrical grids, and we've seen these some of Jordanian companies made lots of reforms into the grids. In addition, that Jordan would fuel Syria by gas and energy through the Egyptian and Jordan gas line, pipeline, in addition to providing Syria the surplus of the electrical Jordanian grids. Secondly, with respect to the reconstructions, all is ready to contribute in the reconstruction in Syria that require efforts, regional and international and Arab efforts, as the size of the destruction is very large, that would require the contribution of many countries to assist the Syrian people in the reconstruction and the speed in the space of security, along with other services such as health and education to the Syrian people. As you know, Jordan is hosting more than 1,004,000 Syrian refugees. Some are registered in the commission, in the High Commission of Refugees, and some actually entered Jordan with different procedures rather than asking for refugees.
Okay, so you spoke a bit about the idea of like issues when it comes to smuggling. So what are the main challenges for both countries when it comes to facing border security and in addition to expanding commercial relations?
Can you?
Yes, sure. You spoke, sir, about the idea that there is an issue when it comes to the border, that it's porous and there might be smuggling issues. What challenges can both countries face when it comes to strengthening border security as well as expanding commercial relations?
I think that the drug trafficking was a very big issue for Jordan that required several efforts that around 150 for drug trafficking networks that include 120 and to 150 individuals. But after the fall of Assad's regime and the non-presence of the Iranian affiliated militia, along with the force quadrum that's responsible of Maher al-Assad, so the issue has decreased. But it still having a great concern for Syria, that wish to get the assistance of the drug smuggling. As you know, that the Syrian regime and the state isn't capable to have full control of several areas in the southern, particularly with the presence of the Israeli occupation forces in areas such as al-Suwaida, which is in a hot spot of drug smuggling. So I think Jordan and Syria, through the formed committees of such mutual visits, to have some sort of joint committees to confront all these operations. But the issue would remain due to the non-presence of the Iranian militia to operate the drug smuggling. So will be in the normal size that would actually happens in several countries, as no countries in the whole world would eliminated the issue of drug smuggling completely.